Well, here I am restarting this freaking update video because the monitor turned off for a second. Oh, Jesus Christ. Power saving mode should not be a thing if the camera's running. The camera is running, bitch. Okay. We're talking about a couple things. We're talking about the predator catchers because I've already made videos on it. We're not going to talk about predator catchers PA anymore. I explained that in my community tab, but no one sees my community posts anyway, so what's even the point of having a community post to begin with? We're not talking about him anymore because I talked to him over Facebook, okay? Or at least I didn't video chat him. I talked to him through messages because I was way too tired. I was like, bruh, let's just talk it out. Actually, that's not even what happened. We just started arguing. I was telling him, my thoughts on, why I do what I do, which is flag individuals who violate the terms of service, at least in, his community. And he explained his point of view and what he thought. And I can genuinely say, I felt much better after having that conversation with him, than before, because, at least then I was able to get some clarity. Okay, this is the reason why he, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the mentality that you should not, what have you. You should not call the police or you should not talk to the family first because it's like it's sort of a formality thing, right? It's a formality thing. You might think that calling the cops would be the best scenario, but in most cases it's not. Because here's the thing: cops are gonna sit there and be like, "Well, you didn't talk to the family first. This guy is mentally challenged. He lives with his family. He's taken care of by his family. You need to talk to the family first and make sure they know before we're able to, do anything about it." And again, maybe the cops might not want to do anything in that part of Pennsylvania, but it's still a formality thing. I think it's a respect thing too. You go to the family, and if they choose not to do anything, then you'll catch them the next time. And when you catch them the next time, then you should probably call the cops. I mean, it's just common sense to me because I'm like thinking about it, and I'm just like, well, this makes a lot more sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else, but it probably doesn't because they're just like, I just want to see predator catching videos. It's like, okay, bro, whatever you say, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I thought about doing predator catching once upon a time, but let me tell you, I completely lost interest because I realized that modern predator catching is, basically being an asshole and being a bigot. At least in my opinion. Not saying that Shafiq himself is a bigot. He's not. Or at least I don't think he is. I mean, there might be some bigot stuff, in his head, but I think if he was to tone it down a little bit, and not express that, the bigoted side, he might be a way 100% better catcher for it because I think that's the type of person that I want predator catching, right? Same thing with Alex Rosen, Chet Goldstein. I think if he were to mature and not spout this anti-trans rhetoric and all this anti-trans hate, and this bigotry that's completely dumbfounding to me and then to other people, like me, and I'm saying liberals, right? Liberals. So I am a liberal. I'm more liberal than I am conservative. I do have some conservative values, which is why I consider myself independent. But as far as being a liberal goes, I think if he was to tone it down, just do the catching and try to be a decent person about it, and not be a complete asshole, I think he would do a much better job. I want the type of person like Chris Hansen, who's kind of neutral on both sides of the field, I'm not saying Chris Hansen neutral. I'm not saying he's he's obviously his job is to get the predator to talk, right? But he's a little more contained, okay? Contained, which is why Chris Hansen is, one of the better catchers. Well, he's not actually a catcher. Not a modern catcher, right? Not a YouTube catcher. He's a catcher in the sense that he runs a program, a show, and he's always run, it's not a TV program anymore. It's YouTube shit, doing investigations. I hear the most of them investigations have been fucking fake, but let me tell you, Chris Hansen, man, you got to do the TCAP thing. You know, TCAP. From what I hear, TCAP got canceled because immediately after some governor or something died, because you know he was part of a sting operation. It's like, bro, how does a governor become a pedophile? I just don't know. But point being, I think the problem with the predator catchers is they need to contain their bigoted viewpoints, or at least mature enough to where they don't have those sort of viewpoints anymore. They're just like, okay, this is about predator catching. This is about protecting kids, and this is not all about the money. Okay? If they do that, I will have no problems with them. I would not dislike Alex, Chet Goldstein, or AKA Predator Poachers guy, if he wasn't such a bigot. If I didn't hate his trans viewpoints, and I'm not saying, I hate his trans viewpoints just because, for any personal reasons or nothing. I just hate him because it's like the worst thing you could do is have hate speech on the platform. And yes, I'm a sensitive Nancy. So what? So what? I don't care. My channel, I can at least express that I hate bigotry. I hate bigotry. I hate people not using common sense to do stuff, and I talk about this stuff. Okay. At least Shafiq, it seems like at least we talked it out, right? I expressed my views and how I think he should do it. He expressed why he didn't do it, and we talked it out, and I feel much better after it. So, at least, at the very least, I could say that we talked, and we see eye to eye, and on not seeing eye to eye, we agreed to disagree. You understand? We agreed to disagree. That's the thing. That's an actual thing. Agreeing to disagree. Okay, I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. Let's agree to disagree. Okay? Because that's what men do. We don't have to agree on every little issue. We at least have to talk about it. If I think it's worth talking about. Because I genuinely am just like, look, you can't be doing the wrong thing all the time. It's just not right. It's just not right to do the wrong thing. And to, I think talking to the family first would have been better. But, like I said, after this video, actually it was supposed to be after my community post, but no one reads my community post. No one ever reads my community post, so we're just talking about here. After this, we're not talking about Shafiq. Okay? If he wants to return to YouTube, I'm not gonna bother looking for him. I don't care too much. I'm just like, just let him do it. I will say that video probably is not suitable for YouTube, the one where he calls the cops on the mentally challenged guy. But if he just if he leaves that video out, this is fine. It's fine. I never really had a problem with the guy. So, only problem I have with Alex is he's a bigot. If he tones it down, if he contains himself, and sort of doesn't express any of the hate, talk, I think he would be a lot more mature. People say he's really matured in the last couple of years. He still uses the R word. Not talking about the one where you're physically I'm talking about that. He still uses that word. I'm not saying that word because it's YouTube, and I would get terminated really quickly if I use that word. You need to tone it down, contain yourself. That's all I want. That's all I want. Okay? Obviously, your censorship stuff, I can't complain about the censoring of your words and stuff like that. So, that's all I want. PTI has gotta stop terrorizing businesses, because terrorizing businesses is not good. It's not good to terrorize businesses. You can't sit there and terrorize a freaking business. It's not okay. It's not okay to sit there and terrorize businesses. We live in a freaking society where terrorism is a crime. Okay? Terrorism is not supported in any way. And you going ahead and harassing workers of the businesses and going into private establishments with the sole intention to harass them and to freaking just cause chaos is not the best way to go, bud. Or woman. I say bud, but she's a woman. So, alright, it's not the way to go. and you could sit there and disagree, or you could sit there and say, PTI can probably say, like, oh, it's the right thing. It's not the right thing to do. You're terrorizing a business. That's why the videos were removed, because I reported them for terrorizing, for promotes terrorism or for terrorism or whatever. They change their policies sometimes. They change their wording on certain guidelines a few times just because it's weird. But anyway, so basically you were removed for that reason, and it's not okay, dude. And don't even get me started with Colorado Pit Patrol. The guy will never learn. Okay, the guy will never learn. He's in his 40s. At least with these other guys that I've talked about, at least they're in their early 20s. Colorado Pit Patrol is like 50 years old, or 40, or something like that. He's around my dad's age, and he's sitting there doing this dumb shit, like locking your kids out. Well, what kind of parent locks their kids out? I'm just confused. You're talking about protecting kids, right? What if a kid came and kidnapped your kids and started to, do things to them that no person should ever do? You would probably be the last one in their defense at that point, because, goddamn, you can't even protect your own kids. How are you gonna protect anyone else's kids and not your own? Come on, man. Give me a fucking break. So I think Colorado Pet Patrol has less potential to improve than some of these other people. I don't know how old PTI is, to be honest with you. I've theorized that's her identity because there's a couple of people on Facebook that look like her in Florida, who happen to be in Florida, but no distinct proof or nothing. So yeah. I don't know. What do I say? I mean, that's part of the update. The second part of the update is about the PlayStation Portal. I think it's going to be a bad thing, man. PlayStation Portal is going to be bad. I don't like this. I'm talking about it here because I can upload over 15 minutes here. PlayStation Portal is really, really bad. It's one of the worst designed handhelds I've ever seen. It's not even a handheld. It's a fucking accessory. It's an accessory, bro. It's an accessory to murder. No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. Imagine if it was. Jesus. Imagine if it was. No, it's an accessory. It's a weird thing. Because it's like, come on, man. It's one of the worst designed things you could ever have. And it doesn't do anything that, a simple, a Switch can do. The only thing that the PS5 or the PlayStation Portal can do is stream or remote play your PlayStation 5 games. It's garbage, man. It's complete garbage. It doesn't even have an operating system. It's not even designed well. It doesn't look like it's freaking designed well at all. I'd rather have a Steam Deck, and I do have a Steam Deck. I do have a Steam Deck. I'd rather have that. I'd rather have a Switch, and I'd rather have a tablet. Because I have all three of them. Actually, I have 2 tablets, and I'm getting a third. Don't tell anyone. I know, don't tell anyone. Like I care. I'm my own guardian, so doesn't matter. Anyway, point being, I have 3 tablets, and obviously the Switch or 3 Switches and a freaking Steam Deck. I think I'm pretty good as far as handling gaming goes. I don't need this fucking PlayStation Portal shit, to be honest with you. But I know a lot of people do and be like, oh, I like the PlayStation Portal. I think it's going to be a great system. It's like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. The thing looks like it's going to fucking fail. And I know things that have failed because I've seen stuff fail. I know what people are looking for. This is not it. It's $200 more than it needs to be. This thing could be freaking $125 or $150, and it would probably sell a lot better. But $200 for an accessory? No. I get it has a really nice screen. Oh, geez. It has a screen. It has a screen. It looks like it's designed with garbage, and it doesn't run anything. I think this thing could be its own system, and it would sell a lot better. If it was its own system and it was designed better, I think it would be fucking perfect. Because I like the color scheme. I like how I want to play PS5 game, or at least at the very least, if it was its own system, PlayStation Portal could be its own handheld system that's sort of like a hybrid thing, in addition to the PS5, having the PS5, it could be an option, but it's an accessory, and you can't even leave the house with it. I mean, it's just completely fucking crappy. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen, and nobody in their right mind is gonna buy this. So I don't understand how Sony thinks this is gonna sell. And you know why it is? It's because of that British bloke. Talking about Jim Ryan. I fucking hate that guy. Listen, if I ever get when I get my bachelor's degree or my master's degree or whatever, and Sony ever asks me to work, I have to work at Sony, and they tell me to work at their gaming division, I'm like, no. As long as Jim Ryan's fucking CEO, I refuse. Because fuck that guy. I don't like it. And I'm allowed to do that because that's, I really don't care about a career in something that I don't believe in. So, I'm sorry guys, I'm just not. And I happen to be very willful, I would refuse to work at Double Fine Productions as well, because I don't like Tim Schafer. I'm sorry, I don't like the guy. After what he did at the freaking, the Game Awards or whatever, several years ago. What was it, Game Awards? No, it was some convention thing. He did a freaking puppet thing. It's garbage, man. He's fucking trash. He was such a fucking moron, dude. I'm just saying. I know he works in Microsoft now, but I'd be like, okay, if I'm gonna work in Microsoft, I'm not working for Double Fine. And I'm not being part of anything relating to Double Fine. Okay? Because I don't like Tim Schafer. I would argue with the guy. Or I'd be like, right, you gotta do better than that shit, But his political ideology is not supposed to matter in gaming. Not supposed to matter in gaming. It doesn't matter in predator catching. It doesn't matter anywhere in any other industry. Other than politics. Leave politics with politics. Get out of that shit. I don't want to hear about politics when I'm talking about all this other shit. Okay, politics does not need to be related to any other industry or any other freaking form of quote unquote entertainment. I'm not saying predator catching is entertainment, but I mean, with Chris Hansen was with Creep Catchers, at least it was entertaining, because I think the Creep Catchers were actually really cool, but I tell you what, I lost a lot of respect for Justin Payne as soon as I found out he was actually a piece of shit in real life and was bragging about fucking, I'm famous on the internet. It's like, bro, come on, get the fuck out of here, man. You're jack shit. You're some fucking idiot from Canada. And I know idiots from Canada because I'm one. Well, I'm not from Canada, but I'm Canadian American, as they say. Because I'm descended from a Canadian. One of my great-grandparents was Canadian. And it's your fault that I'm Canadian. She's dead now. She's been dead for freaking over 20 years, so it doesn't really matter. I'm kind of crying about it now because I miss her. She was a good person. I cried when I freaking found out she died, too. Yeah. Great woman. Anyway, so point being, Canadians. Although I will say, if I were to live in another country, okay, it would not be France, because France would probably be a lot harder to live in, to be honest with you, because when I hear the French hate Americans, they don't like. I would have to speak. I would have to speak with a British accent all the time just to be able to talk to somebody who's French. And to have them take me seriously instead of speaking in my normal American accent. Oh, dude, I do that at work sometimes, too. I put on the British accent. Oh, crikey. I put on accents all the time at work. It's kind of funny, because someone was, doing the English accent, the British accent at work, and I was just like, oh, cheerio. Because I sometimes when I speak, it just kind of comes off as British. I don't know why, but it's like really funny. But yeah, so I guess the moral of the story is Don't be Canadian. And if you are Canadian, and you have to be a Canadian, live in fucking Canada. Come on. You live in Canada. Have a fucking house or some shit, you know? And don't be a fucking piece of crap in Canada. Because that just makes the rest of us look bad. I'm just telling you. Like, as somebody who's part Canadian, whose bloodline does come from freaking Canada, in some way, I'm just saying, you need to stop being fucking piece of crap. Because you're making me look bad. Nobody makes me look bad but me. Alright. I'm done, man. I'm done with this video. You know, people are looking at me like, what the fuck? He's going out of his mind. It's like, bro, I'm already out of my mind. What are you talking about? I'm already out of my mind. I know I'm out of my mind. But guess what? You're not going to judge me. Look at my face. I'm dead serious. No, I'm not. Okay. So, see you later, guys.